The Mesopotamians contributed to the advancements in astronomy by creating the zodiac, which marked 12 constellations that the sun, moon, and planets travel between. The Egyptians were the first ones to split the day into 24 divisions, or hours as we call them. The Egyptians were also the first group to decide that a year was 365 days. Stonehenge is believed to be related to the lunar and solar alignments. Astronomers claim that Stonehenge can be used to predict future astronomical events. While the Mesopotamians found the first 12 zodiac constellations, the Chinese actually found all 28. The Chinese were also credited with inventing the earliest form of telescopes. Chinese notable observations include SN 1054, that was later named the Crab Nebula. Thales was the first person to use the Little Dipper as a navigation aid, which was more beneficial because it included the North Star. Thales was also able to use geometry along with shadows to accurately calculate height. Pythagoras invented the well-known Pythagorean theorem, which quickly advanced and simplified right triangle calculations. Pythagoras was also the first to claim that the earth was spherical. The Babylonians were able to find the moon's synodic period, which was the time for it to make a revolution around the earth. Although mostly known for philosophy, Aristotle argued that all celestial motions must be circular because they can only be suitable for unchanging bodies. Aristarchus used right triangle calculations to find the diameter of planets using lunar eclipses. Eratosthenes used differences in latitude to calculate the approximate size of the Earth. Hipparchus, the founder of trigonometry, discovered a new star with the naked eye and gave positions and brightness for about 850 stars. The Mayans created an accurate year-long calendar that was able to be continued until 2012. The Mayans also built their buildings to align with the sunrise, noonday, and sunset. Ptolemy wrote a book describing the brightness of stars. Ptolemy created the geocentric Earth model, which placed the Earth in the center of the solar system. The Arabs built the first modernized observatories, and they also compiled star catalogs based on other known observations. Copernicus discovered the sun-centered heliocentric model. He also noticed that only the moon was left in orbit with the Earth. Tycho Brahe compromised the geo and heliocentric models. He stated that the Earth was stationary, and the moon and sun rotated around the Earth, and the other planets rotated around the sun. Galileo disproved the geocentric model with the view of Venus's face. Galileo disproved the Brahe counterargument for the heliocentric model because the angular sizes of stars were not calculated correctly. Kepler disproved the idea of circular orbits for planets and moons, but proved elliptical orbits along with a constant orbit speed. Newton created a plethora of scientific laws that still stand today, to include the laws of motion, the laws of inertia, the laws of force, and the laws of action and reaction. Halley compared similar comet sightings and concluded that they must have been the same one. Einstein dealt with the general and special theories of relativity. The general theory dealt with systems of uniform motion with respect to one another, and the special theory of relativity composed that the speed of light is the limiting speed for all mass bodies. Niels Bohr created the Bohr atomic model, which states that electrons are in a set orbit, and they can only move out of that set orbit when they gain or lose energy. Wolfgang Pauli proposed a quantum number for spin of electrons. He also created an exclusion principle that stated that two electrons residing in the same orbital must have different spins. Heisenberg created the uncertainty principle, which states that any mathematical inequality with complementary variables, those variables can be known simultaneously. Hubble created a system of classifying galaxies after he observed that some nebulas thought to be in the Milky Way was not in the Milky Way. They were actually millions of light years away. Lemaitre discovered the Big Bang Theory, which started as a single star explosion that expanded the galaxy. Oppenheimer was part of the Manhattan Project that created the atom bomb. He then primarily focuses attention to black holes. Hoyle came up with the idea of nuclear fusion, which took small atoms and fused them to form bigger atoms. Penzias and Wilson discovered the idea of cosmic background radiation, which was first shown in the background of televisions. Neil Armstrong and Buzz Aldrin were the first two to walk on the moon, with Neil Armstrong being the first. They rode on Apollo 11.